It is the most wonderful time of the year as the NBA is getting ready for the postseason, and technically the postseason starts tonight. It's the playoffs that get going on the weekend, but it begins with the Western Conference round of the play-in. Up first, it is the Lakers taking on the Pelicans of New Orleans before the Golden State Warriors take on the Sacramento Kings. So let's break these games down a little bit here. We're going to do that, and then we're going to look at who has the most pressure on them going into this postseason. So let's begin with the Lakers taking on the Pelicans. It's a 5:30 Mountain Time start tonight, and this is a real difficult matchup. And I think a lot of the intrigue about this game is actually how seriously one of the teams will take it. There is a lot of discussion about if a team should try to throw this game so that they can get the 8th seed and play Oklahoma City instead of the Denver Nuggets. Denver losing that wild game to San Antonio has set up this wild possibility. And I want to make something abundantly clear. Don't do that. That would be a horrendous, karmically and just whatever. Oklahoma City is the 1 seed for a reason. I get they don't have Jokic, and in a 7-game series, I would pick Denver over Oklahoma City for sure. Also, Lakers do match up better against Oklahoma City than they do against the Denver Nuggets, but still, if you do this, if they purposefully lose this game tonight to avoid playing the Denver Nuggets, and I don't think it'll be obvious, but if they do that, LeBron James has to exit every GOAT category ever, because the GOAT, I don't care if it's year 21 and he's 40 years old, the GOAT doesn't duck opponents. The fact that this is even a conversation to me is utterly insane, because you still have to play that other game. And in that second game, it is either Sacramento, who, they can get hot. They have given the Lakers some problems. And I should note, most of these conversations are happening around the Lakers. I don't think anyone is saying New Orleans should throw this game, because a lot of people are assuming they're not going to have a whole lot of say in the matter, really. But you look at Sacramento, Sabonis has given the Lakers some fits this season, or you go up against Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. And while they are not the Golden State Warriors in capital letters that they were a couple of years ago, Steph Curry can still go nuclear for a game, and then your season is over. So this should not even be a discussion. I understand why it is, but it shouldn't be. You don't mess around when it comes to just potential win and you're in scenarios. Or win or go home, I guess, scenarios in the playoffs. You go out there, you take care of business, and you beat who you have to beat. That's why I have so much respect for what the Knicks did on Sunday. It was we're just going to go win a basketball game, and whoever we play is who we play. We're confident we're going to beat everyone. Compared to Cleveland kind of limping their way through that game against Charlotte, setting up a matchup with the Orlando Magic. Would it have been easier for the Knicks to set up a game against the Pacers? Sure it would have. But it's the playoffs. Easy doesn't come into it, there are difficult paths to championships all the time. And it's so wild to me. And look, it's noteworthy. You see the jerseys in the background and the Kawhi picture back there. And if you're listening in podcast form, you know where my allegiances are with the Raptors. And everyone's like, oh, the Raptor asterisk beside their title because of Kevin Durant's injury in the 2019 championship. But yeah, these teams should try to go for easier paths to get to a championship. So you can't do both. Just play who is in front of you. It's going to get hard eventually. No matter which path you go down, it's going to be difficult. So deal with it, is basically how I look at it. When you get into these actual games, looking at the Lakers against New Orleans, it's a really, really bad matchup for New Orleans. And there is some recency bias because the Lakers just beat the hell out of them on Sunday, setting up this matchup. But even in a grander scale situation, LeBron covering Zion Williamson has been a real issue for Zion. And it has been he completely shut him down. LeBron was in rare form on Sunday, but he defensively absolutely just completely neutralized Zion Williamson. Zion looked a little lost at times in that game. And then on the other end, they had no answer for LeBron. He was passing around everything. He had 13 assists in the first half with a double-double. He ends with a triple-double to go along with 5 blocks. LeBron was getting anything that he wanted. And just you go on through they're all kind of difficult matchups for New Orleans, right? Like JV going up against 80. We're just going initials here. That's very difficult for JV. He is not as quick as 80 is. He is about as strong, but if it's a tie in the strength, 80 with the ability to shoot is just such an advantage there over JV. Same thing going for LeBron against Zion Williamson. The one kind of X Factory type player in this is Brandon Ingram, and I think he is going to be so important in this game offensively to get things going, and then defensively he is what he is. But anytime the Lakers found any sort of a mismatch in that game, they attacked it immediately. Reeves gets McCollum on him, blows right by him, gets to the rim. Hachimura was hitting from three. Russell has been great from three. Like I just don't think New Orleans has the firepower to keep up with the Lakers, and I think that this is specifically a really, really difficult matchup because they kind of just do what New Orleans does, but just a little bit better version of it. So I do think that this is going to be a Laker win, and then they get the Denver Nuggets in the first round. So it's tough. It's so funny to me that the 7th or 8th seed is going to try to maneuver things so they get an easier matchup in the first round. Fuck off. In the second game of the play in here tonight in the East or in the West, sorry, it is Golden State against Sacramento. This is the win or go home game. The winner of this goes into the 8th place game coming up in a couple of days, and it's a Golden State Warriors team that has matched up really well with Sacramento. And the Kings, if everyone was healthy, then this would be a really intriguing matchup. But if everyone was healthy, this probably isn't a matchup that's happening anyway. With Monk going down with the injury, Herter has been down with an injury as well. It's all been on Sabonis and Fox, and they cannot keep up when it comes to Curry and the rest of the Golden State Warriors. So I do think that this is going to be a really difficult spot for the Kings to get into in this game. For Golden State, like you need the other players to step up around Curry. That's obvious. You need Draymond to keep his head on his shoulders. But this has been a team that's been playing some really good basketball. You have the game the other night where Draymond makes 5 threes in the first half. Clay, I think, has become a bit more comfortable in his kind of secondary, almost tertiary role on this team. And you've had some of the younger kids step up. Kuminga's playing some pretty good basketball right now. Podziemski is just constantly trying to get to the rim. And Chris Paul, it feels like everyone has kind of figured out where they fit on this basketball team right now. So that's why I do feel like Golden State ends up getting the win in this game.